All right, and we're going live.
Oh, geez.
Boom. What's up, everybody? And welcome back to Friends with the Internet podcast. It is, I don't know, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. I have tacos
Ooh.
in my living room, and I'm missing hot tacos for this podcast, but sure, my appetite's going to grow.
Yeah.
How is
Nice.
everybody tonight? We're here with Bring the Party.
What's up, guys?
Yellow. This is kind of weird because, as most people know, we were live last week, but we did a big oopsie.
We dropped the ball.
We dropped the ball hard, and it was such a good. If anybody was there and they watched it, it was really. I liked it. It was a great first episode. This is kind of like a 1.1. Yeah, that is forever the lost episode. We'll never be able to get it back. I tried to contact Twitch support, and they basically said, "No, get fucked." So it's okay. So now we're just doing it again. So it's of course a pleasure to have you on here, Josh. We love you.
Oh, thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate Darian and Jeff. It means a lot, guys.
Yeah. Well, thanks for dealing with us and coming on the show again. It's great. So 1.1, here we go.
Yeah, any aspiring streamers out there, make sure you archive all your videos when you're starting out if you choose to keep them.
Not on by default. Yeah. Not on by default. We realize that very quickly, yeah.
They should put it on by default.
Yeah, they should. They really should. You know, hey Twitch. Come on.
Take the memo. Take the hint. We need it.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Well,
it's a cry for help.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely some really good gaming news out this week. That's for sure. A lot of big games.
So much. There's so much I want to talk about.
Let's get into it. What's the first topic you want to cover, JJ?
All right. Nothing too crazy to start off with. The new Call of Duty, as expected, it's May every year for the past. 15 years? I don't even know. Just on and off between Infinity Ward and other publishers that have crafted Call of Duty. Basically, Activision Blizzard in their their little conference call talking about numbers and good old money. They basically said before June 30th they will announce the new Call of Duty game. Not sure what. People are kind of expecting it to be either a Modern Warfare 4, which would be kind of hyped, or a Ghosts 2, possibly. A Call of Duty Ghosts 2. Maybe they're just kind of either going... Doesn't look like it's going to be like a new Call of Duty IP, is by the sounds of it. But this is because mainly it's only a little bit suspicious, and they're talking about it because Sony isn't attending E3 this year. They announced that back in November. But they did announce, we talked about it on the last show, that they did announce, the PlayStation 5, they are doing a next generation of consoles.
That's crazy.
It won't be coming out this year, they confirmed it, but they're not going to be at E3 either, so they're not going to really be showing off any new,
So, quick
Sony
question.
stuff.
Do you really think they need a new generation of consoles? Like, is the current generation that out of date? Can't they do 4K? Like, what are you really going to upgrade at this point?
It's a good question. It's an extremely
good question. It is tough because you do have PS4 Pro, which, like you said, is basically a PS4 that can handle 4K.
Yeah.
And that's
already $500. Yeah. It's tough. I mean, PlayStation and what they've said with this new console is that they want to compete with the new RTX cards, which is true. The new RTX cards and lineups for like new gaming PCs now are really beefy. They can do really crazy things. Yeah, like the 2080 Ti's and all those RTX cards, all those new gen cards. They just make things look a lot better. They're just high fidelity next generation cards, and they kind of want to do that the same thing. The consoles wouldn't be able to have that high of a fidelity, basically. So. It's tricky what they're doing.
But like, if you look at like past ones, for example, they obviously when they went from PS3 to PS4, they kind of had like the big HD overhaul into 1080, and then they had
Blu-ray,
4K midway through this one.
Oh yeah.
So like I think the transfers between past consoles has been a pretty big transfer among all of them, and now like I don't see the point of them doing another transfer yet. maybe
they're like mini computers now, and I know with like Xbox you could sync your Microsoft Live with your Xbox so you don't lose your games if, say, you were to give up the console and come over to PC. So that's good, and they're removing the disc trays. Right, we talked about that last week. I believe
that's interesting.
Yeah,
still an interesting thing.
Yeah, so
completely
no more doubling as a DVD player, for your apartment or bedroom. You're gonna have to buy one of those separately. But yeah, I mean, these things are mini computers now. They might as well just, I don't know. It's might as well just get a computer, in my opinion. I moved from console to PC, and I would never go back.
Didn't they switch? They just made it so you can do keyboards and mice on console too, on Xbox One at least. I'm not sure if you can do it on PS4 yet, but I know you can do it on Xbox One.
It's a little buggy depending on which game you're using it for.
Yeah,
but
you can buy a dongle.
It definitely works. It definitely works.
I think with the next generation of consoles, though, it's going to be more like tier based. They're going to make it so that the PS4 and the PS4 Pro, granted it's going to be 4K and still good. I can only imagine that the PS4 Pro and maybe PS5 are going to be like compatible games, kind of like a one disc situation. They're going to work on both consoles. And it's kind of the same thing. You just have like a high tier where, if you do get the PlayStation 5, you're going to have basically the RTX card in it. You're just going to have higher fidelity. You can still play with your friends that are on the older consoles and everything like that, but it's just better. Might run faster, to have just better,
I think it comes down to
internals.
frames per second. These
that's true.
These PlayStations, I believe they're like locked into 60 FPS or something like that. And now with all these newer titles coming out and frames per second being such a big thing competitively, it's hard to be a competitive player on a console. I mean, not saying you can't, I'm not trying to put anything down, but you make it incredibly hard to compete if you're on a console going against PC players. So if they make them a little bit better, they'll close that gap and allow more people to compete off of, a PS5 or Xbox One Plus exclamation point. I don't even know what they're calling them, but I think it'll close that competitive gap a little bit with newer TVs, and every technology is just getting better.
Like new technology, like maybe the new Oculus Quest that was a new VR. Look at that!
You're trying to sell us again.
You like that little transition?
You're real excited to talk about the Oculus. Let's get into it. What do you got? What do you got?
Okay, and you know what, too? And I wish I pre-ordered it from Walmart. Because a lot of people got very lucky. So they just announced Oculus Quest, the release date. It's going to be May 22nd. With that release date, they're also going to be, they opened up pre-orders. So you can go ahead and pre-order your Oculus Quest so you're ready. So when the street date comes, be the first one to get your console. Walmart did a little bit of an oopsie and basically shipped people early headsets that are basically paperweights right now, because you need the Oculus app in order to basically connect it, turn it on, and like go through the first time setup. So you can't even use it for the people that did get it early. But either way.
This is the one that is no longer needs a PC, correct? It's a standalone console, if you will.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Standalone, full 6 degrees of freedom. So it's just like the HTC Vive. And Rift, except completely wireless, no computer needed. And it's just kind of like an Oculus Rift, wireless with the graphics toned down, because it's still like an onboard thing. Obviously you're not going to have crazy good graphics with it. But the whole point of it is for it to be like portable, and it's more freedom compared to the Oculus Go, which I said I have, which is just kind of like a Netflix machine. Really? I mean, I watch like the cool, I'm on a roller coaster, but I'm not on a roller coaster. Come on. Let's be real here.
That's funny. I never really got into VR. I did VR when I went to PAX. The line was, down the street pretty much for any of the virtual realities at PAX, and they took up a ton of space. I do feel that VR is going to become a lot more relative in the gaming world. I always looked at it as kind of it's kind of for kids, stuff like that. It's
Right.
cool, but it's not really like a gaming machine. It's more of like an environment, virtual environment machine. But I do feel like things are going to be changing, or at least these manufacturers are really hoping that it's going to take off and go a lot more mainstream than it is already.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is going to blow up more and more. I mean, again, we're seeing a new generation. It's on the front page of Steam right now as they're showing off Valve Index, which is like another. Again, I talked about it in the last show. It's the same thing. It's just a new generation of now VR, which is just going to be incrementally a little bit better every time. We'll get to a point where we'll probably be in Ready Player One, where we'll have full motion suits, and again, shove an IV in me. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
So are they? Are they releasing these too often? Like, is there really a purpose of releasing these as often as they have been? Because I don't think the upgrades are that much. Didn't they just release a wireless compatibility with the HTC Vive, like an HTC Vive Pro or something?
Yes, they
that
did.
made it wireless.
Correct.
So, is anyone actually? So, I think when it comes with consoles, every time they upgrade, you have to buy the new console. Is there really a purpose of keep releasing these? Like, is anyone actually going to have to upgrade their current Vive?
I mean, again, it's more in what VR has been the backbone too is kind of like the enthusiasts. It's like eventually those features will come in the lower grade kind of systems that will be more mass produced and more popular. I mean, that's the thing is nobody's really, unless you are truly interested or you've had a very good experience with VR. Even for me, like seeing it on the store page, it's like if you want the entire bundle, like I don't have anything. I need the controller, I need the headset, and I need the two base stations, which 2 base station minimum. They recommend 4.
Wait, they really recommend 4?
They recommend more. Yeah, they recommend more for just better accuracy. Yeah. They give you 2 as like, here's what will work, but like the more the merrier. Which obviously they're not cheap at all. They're like $250, I think, or they're over $100 a piece for sure.
I'm trying to think how much I spent.
So again, it's just more enthusiast. I want to upgrade, get the Pro, get the Oculus Rift S, get the Index. It's all personal preference. I think the small little boosts in like things like resolution and refresh rate for a lot of them are good. Most people are going to appreciate that. But even then, you're going to need a pretty high-end gaming PC anyways to kind of...
Why do they keep shoving cameras in the front of these? Have you ever used your camera actually on any of these devices?
What do you mean?
Like there's 2 cameras in the front of the Vive, and there's a camera in the front of... No, there's a camera in front of the Vive and 2 in front of the Index. Is there really a purpose of having those cameras?
Yeah, there is. So there actually kind of gives you an internal view. So when you have the headset on, and at least say the Quest, same thing with the Quest, has 2 cameras on the outside, you kind of draw your border or your kind of area that you're going to be playing in. And if you get closer, if you get out of those boundaries, it actually kind of uses those cameras to actually show you.
I thought it was the base stations that did that.
No. For at least for the Quest, that's how actually all of it works. Is the controllers have infrared sensors on it, and that's how it actually bounces back to the cameras on the actual headset.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. The Oculus Quest is nuts to me for the price point. I mean, it's $399, but Oculus, they're actually not making a profit or that hard of a profit on these things because they just want to push out VR to basically as many people as possible for pretty cheap. Like even with me, like, I have the Oculus Go, don't use it that much, but like I could see an Oculus Go or VR type thing turning into like kind of like a Wii system. You know how like every household had like a Wii? I can see every household having like a VR system. Like just like maybe 1 or 2 that are like the staple, and then you have a bunch of other ones that are going to be like more intense and different brands, which I kind of guess we see now. That's popping up more and more.
I mean, the Wii is pretty interactive, and you have to swing the tennis racket or
Yeah.
pull the
Well, now it's
ball
like the Switch for the most part. I mean, the Wii is
it's kind of
the
dying.
Wii.
Yeah.
I mean, motion controls was supposed to be the future, right, guys?
Could you imagine watching the new Sonic movie in a VR headset?
Oh wow!
Nice.
What do you make him? Yeah, look at that.
Good, right?
Look at that transition, huh?
That's a good segue. I don't know. Yeah, the Sonic's been in the news a lot lately. I know Reddit got real heated about how the design was looking, and supposedly they're making a brand new Sonic character, although they haven't released any updates or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to see a Sonic movie. I grew up playing it on Sega. Right?
Of course.
You had to have Sonic, whether you had other games. Sonic was a staple with Sega. I'd be very interested to see what it's about. I forget the whole storyline of the game. Besides,
was there a storyline?
That kind of was. I mean, it depends. There's so many Sonics. You had like the Sonic Adventures, and then the racing games, and the classic arcade Sonic.
Ooh, those were
Sonic
rough.
Racers was rough.
Yeah, no, I like the classic one. Just collect the coins and go really fast.
Did you ever play the Shadow the Hedgehog one? There was one just for Shadow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I have
I kind of remember that one.
He dropped frickin' bombs and he shot guns and would shoot police officers and crap. It was just violent.
Sonic was
holy cow.
That was the fox, right? His sidekick?
No, that was Knuckles. It was it was his enemy Shadow. It was based on Shadow's life. I don't know what the actual storyline was. All I know is he had guns, which was terrifying to see a hedgehog with guns.
Yeah. Wow. It's just like the terrorist version of Sonic, who's just like his shitty twin brother.
Wow.
Yeah, just killing police officers.
I
want
to be featured in the movie. Wow.
Shadow, dude, it was violent.
So something else is going on with that, right? They're saying it's like a big conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of on it too, because to me it's just really shady, and maybe it is because I don't know, everything's fake news now.
I don't know the conspiracy theory, so enlighten me.
Okay, so basically that they released this trailer purposely with a shitty CGI version of Sonic, mainly because I feel like they probably couldn't compete with the Detective Pikachu, because that movie's going to be an absolute hit. I'm going to see it. Ryan Reynolds is voicing it, of course. Everybody's going to watch it.
You get a half-ass actor, Jim Carrey, out of like the woodwork. They're like, yo, that's Dr. Eggman. Like, where the hell has he been?
I mean, that's the thing, is like Jim Carrey is going to be carrying this movie on his back. I can just already assume it. Yeah, I like Jim Carrey a lot. I have faith that he'll have like a crazy twist on it. Who knows? But either way, the director came out and said, okay, we heard the backlash. We heard how absolutely disgusting you think that this character is. Sonic with human teeth. Not a good mix-up.
Terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying, yeah. And supposedly he said, we hear you. We're going to go back to the drawing board. We'll redesign them, make them more, supposedly more like the video game. And I just don't know. Dude. I don't know, man. That's real quick. That's a lot of money.
I was going to say, how much work does that take, dude? Yeah,
to redo the character design for all the CGI scenes,
and especially fast, like in a hurry. You probably pay more,
right? Which is like, haha, like that's like the joke is like, haha, gotta fix it fast. Like he like hashtagged it that, and it's like, you?
How the heck does it have? Oh, why is it already rated? It has a 4.4 in IMDb. How does it have any rating?
Wow.
But November 8th is when it's supposed to come out. Jeez, dude. And they're going to redo every CGI scene with a different Sonic? I guess I see your conspiracy theory on that.
That's the fishy thing is like, and maybe they can be like a hero to themselves. They're like, oh, look, we listened to the fans. We totally changed it. But
there's a lot of marketing tactics, that's for sure. Would not be surprised. And these are big, companies releasing big things. They're going to pull out all the stop signs. They're going to do whatever it takes to, get their product in the news, get their movie,
Oh yeah.
On Reddit, on
Oh
Twitter.
yeah. I think every other post on Reddit is an advertisement, and I'm okay with it, I guess, at this point. I don't know.
Hey, so there's something else that we are really excited about. Splitgate.
Whew.
Splitgate is. I'm real excited for Splitgate.
I've been playing it constantly.
I played the closed beta and I played it at PAX. It was a lot of fun. I actually played it multiple times at PAX because the line was moving relatively quickly. And I played the closed beta at home. I was impressed. It was a lot more fun playing on my own keybinds than, a public computer, so to speak.
Right.
And I think a lot of big streamers are going to be getting into this game. I know Summit 1G is already playing and already, on the leaderboards. But yeah, it's a Halo-like game that has Portal implementation into it, and it's extremely fast-paced.
Yeah.
We were commenting on it earlier about how, it's almost too fast-paced.
It is.
But, I think playing it for a few hours straight will quickly adapt. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to probably play it after the podcast.
Yes, we got to play it. I've been playing it a lot, and I've had a very fun time. It's super fast paced. It's just like a classic arena kind of Unreal Tournament-esque thing. Same thing, red versus blue. The gameplay and the gunplay straight up reminds me of like Halo 1, like using the pistol. Halo 1.
Where's Halo been? Like, have they released a new one? I don't even know. So I never followed the series. I wasn't a huge Halo fan growing up because I had an Xbox until Xbox 360 came out. So I never played like the original ones or anything. But I felt like they were releasing them every year, like COD was for a while, and then just haven't heard about them in ages.
It was supposed to come to the PC, but I don't think it ever did. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's here yet or if it's still on track to being on PC. I know it's just on console now, and I think that's what's holding them back a little bit.
Yeah, Halo was supposedly is supposed to release. I'm not sure if it was. I keep thinking of the older one, which is the Master Chief Collection. But I think this one is just like a remastered. I'm almost certain. I think they're redoing like Halo Reach as well. Halo PC remaster.
There's definitely not enough hours in the day to play all these games that are coming out and continue to go to work, have a sleep schedule, social life. They really make it hard on us.
Is it the Master Chief?
Dude, I would really be relieved if they released a bunch more games, though. I've been really missing out.
Now is a great time to come out with games. That's how I feel.
There's nothing going on. We have a little while before anything, and E3, we won't have any of that until at least September. So this entire summer has nothing going on yet, and I'm kind of sad about it.
Yeah, a lot of the big titles people are starting to get annoyed with, like Fortnite and Apex and stuff like that. They've made their mark, that is for sure, but people are looking for other games. Absolutely.
The industry has changed completely. I mean, E3 and everything now is like weird. Like even this year is going to be really strange. You have a whole shift in the gaming paradigm of these free-to-play or cheaper titles that like are getting crazy concurrent numbers. Like just the average people, the amount of just kids or just in general people that are gaming has just grown so exponentially. And then you have these bombshells of games like Fortnite and Apex Legends and PUBG and going back to like the OGs like of H1Z1 and all those things. And now you have like Splitgate, which is a little different, but Splitgate is also free to play. They announced they're completely free to play. They're going May 22nd. It seems right now, playing the beta, there's no loot boxes, there's no payable.
There.
Like
don't you
there's
worry.
There's no currency yet. There's nothing to really spend money on. You can customize your guy however way you want. At the moment,
I can see there being stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see there being custom cosmetics, especially for like gun skins and stuff. But I don't care about that. I mean, the gameplay obviously is what's important. But yeah, and like crazy things like that with like E3 is going to be completely different because of games like this, and even Sony just not showing up all of a sudden when this is the first time ever that they've missed an E3. I'm pretty sure.
Wait, they're not coming?
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, Sony's not going to be at E3 this
Wow.
year. They're just.
That's news in itself, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah, they announced that back in November, and that's why they announced earlier, like a couple of weeks ago, about the PlayStation 5 console, just out of nowhere. You know, they basically just said, "Yep, we're making it. Not going to be at E3. Can't really show it. It's not coming out this year. It's going to be good," and that's it.
So I've been getting these really weird videos recommended to my YouTube, and it's like why the PSP is still better than the DS. You think that we're going to release another PSP? You think they're going to come back to the mobile market?
I think so. I think so, especially with the Switch being so popular. You know, now with the younger crowd and generation.
That is a good route of it. I can see it going to, of having kind of like a mobile dock kind of station where it's kind of 2-in-1. Yeah, you can go out and play your game, but also you can go home and play it on your console or monitor.
Well, that's like the whole
TV
basis I always thought of like the PSP was like you started a game, you have to jump in the car and travel somewhere, and you're going to be in the backseat bored for an hour. You could continue where you left off mobily. You know, that's like how I always.
The major thing for PlayStation was the remote play. Was that you can kind of just exactly do that as your game basically carries over. You know, you're just playing the PS4 over like a connection.
Yeah. Which is pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of flopped. Not a lot of people used it. I think the new PS Vita.
Did they release a new one?
Well, just the PS Vita, the one that came with the PS4. Like, no new games coming out for the PS Vita. You know, there's
nothing new, really. I wouldn't.
No, what? No, there's no way. I have heard absolutely nothing on the PS Vita. When is the last time you've heard anything? It was just like, bro, got this dope game, I'm playing it on my PS Vita. What? I haven't not even when that game, like when the console launched, I never even heard that. Like, oh, you gotta get the PS Vita, bro. You gotta play this game. It's unbeatable. Definitely not.
Oh wow. What else we got in the news? I want to ask Bring the Party some questions.
Yeah. Has anybody still seen Endgame?
I refuse to go see it. I'm actually not a huge superhero fan, so I'm not your guy.
Leave the call.
I have not seen it yet either, to be honest with you. I plan on seeing it probably next weekend.
That's fair.
But yeah, I've been ducking and dodging all the spoilers. I have a pretty good idea already what's happened or what's going to happen because of all the teasers or people ruining the movie for me. But
Twitter is flooded.
I'm not going to be able to wait for it to come out, privately, and I'm not going to get a bootleg copy, So I'm just gonna I'm gonna suck it up. I'm gonna go to the theater. Maybe I'll find a friend to go with me. Maybe you'll see it for the fourth or fifth time.
I'll go with you. I told you I'd go with you.
Jeff is coming back.
I'll go. I really will see it again.
I
should go to IMAX.
I heard it was very emotional. That's all I could really say on it. I heard it's emotional and people
cried like
cry.
I'm not spoiling anything. I don't even want to. No, I'm going to skip over it completely because I don't want to do anything. The only thing I did want to bring up with the news, obviously, is that just today it surpassed 2.1, nearly $2.2 billion.
Jeez, good for them.
In just 11 days. And it's just crazy. I mean, that regardless, it is breaking records left and right. I mean, nuts to me. Number one, I think right now is, let's see.
Avatar, right?
It just surpassed Avatar. I think Avatar.
What? Did it beat Titanic?
It did beat Titanic.
Jeez. So it's gonna be the number one altogether.
Titanic is a movie you go to once. You don't you don't have the people going, I'm gonna go see Titanic again. That was amazing. You see it once and you saw it. Something like this, the kids, they got upset because they didn't get to see it with their other friends, so they're gonna see it with their other friend. They're gonna see it 3-4 times. It's.
Oh, sorry. It is not. It just beat Titanic. Avatar is still number one at 2.7.
So it's on its way.
But here's the thing: as Avatar grossed that 2.7 billion in 48 days.
Oh,
Oh, so it's
jeez.
on
They
its
are
way.
at
Yeah.
2.2 billion in 11 days.
Oh man.
Yeah, nuts.
Those-
And you also have to think too. In 2009, 10 years ago, the cost of a ticket was actually a lot cheaper. It was like a ticket now is, I mean, you go to a nice AMC, it's like 15, 16 bucks. And if you want to see a 3D, you want shitty plastic glasses, that's like an extra $5. Fuck you. And then, you want snacks. Good luck. You might as well rob
11
them.
bucks. Might as well just take a loan out to go see Endgame.
Yeah,
I know.
these are the type of
I got
movies
peanut butter
that keep,
M&Ms, and I paid $5 for a small little bag.
They keep the movie theater
so
industry
sad.
thriving. These types of movies, that is for sure.
I don't have the cups out there. I got an Endgame. I got the collector's cup. You know, they have the fancy.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's like $7,
Got some
and
merch?
it's just like a pretty. Yeah, it's just like a little plastic. It's pretty flimsy. It's not that great of a cup. And they ruined it too this year because it says Avengers Endgame, and then there's just like this other side of it is just like a giant Coca-Cola logo, and it's like 52 ounces. You pay $7 for this fucking shitty cup that I bought for whatever reason.
Less ice.
Yeah, exactly. You go to the Coca-Cola Freestyle machine, and they're just like, have at it. Honestly, 172 flavors, you could fill it all in that one cup.
Just a 2-liter bottle with Avengers logo stickered on. They're like,
pretty much. Yeah. So, I'm going into a diabetic coma during the end game. So it was good. I had 52 ounces of fruit punch, and I peed twice. 3 hours and 5 minutes. Anyways, so yeah, Endgame, crazy breaking records. They're killing it. After I can only assume after 47 days, it'll probably be like 3 to 4 billion. I see it going that crazy.
I've always, followed, the Avengers and Marvel and things like that, but I don't know their storylines so well. But this type of movie, I just feel obligated to see it in the movie theater, and I don't say that usually about movies. But I consider myself a gamer now, and I consider myself, trying to.
You're with it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get with it. I'm trying to, be hip to, to everything.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I feel obligated to go see this movie and, catch up and know what everybody is talking about, and then, cast my, my opinion about it. Hopefully here with, with our audience and see what everybody else thinks.
Like it.
Well, Josh,
the last little bit of news
sure.
before we dive back into just talking real quick is a little bit of sad news. Ending the news on a sad note a little bit. Is Peter Mayhew this past week? If anybody heard, the actor who played Chewbacca has passed away. He passed away peacefully on just April 30th, so just this past week, at 74 years old. So he's an older guy, but
that's good.
Played Chewbacca. So rest in peace.
Was he like extremely tall?
Yes.
Yeah, he was like 7'2" or something nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I was wondering if he wore like high heels or something. High heels, 7-foot high heels.
Stilts. Yeah.
Stilts, yeah, something like that. No, he was just outrageously tall. Yeah.
Just a tall dude, yeah.
Poor guy.
So yeah, I mean, he lived a relatively full. I mean, 74 is, I guess, nowadays considered kind of young.
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, I mean, died peacefully. Old guy, lived a great life. Did great
things. Made a lot of people happy. I know he made me
made
happy.
A lot of people happy. Exactly.
He had the easiest lines in the entire movie.
I wonder if he actually made that noise. If they had someone else make that noise.
That's a good question.
I'm not sure. I know.
Did he do his own voice?
There was behind the scenes footage of him. And it's kind of funny. Like in the movie, it's just like Chewbacca, doing his little roar. But on the set and like him in the costume, it was like him saying kind of lines in a sense, and like just kind of like joking around and making noise in the costume. There's footage of that on YouTube.
So they dubbed over a lot of it, is what? Yeah,
for the Chewbacca noise. Yeah.
Poor Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it for this week in news. That was like quite a bit, genuinely.
Yeah,
it was a good week.
Definitely a good week in in news for sure. Yeah, so I guess let's get into talking to Josh, bring the party.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little
Nice.
bit about yourself.
So, my name's Josh. Bring the party, whatever you want to call me. I'm a streamer on Twitch. I got partnered about 2 years ago. I think just a little over 2 years ago, and I have been playing mostly Sims throughout those 2 years. I primarily play The Sims, and through that, I made a lot of great friends and met a lot of cool people. And that's pretty much me. I now work full time on top of still streaming here and there, and I work full time as social media expert. So that's kind of cool. It's a cool little gig, and I've no doubt been enjoying the experience. So that's very nice.
Well, yeah, you've definitely come a long way. Partnered for 2 years. You got in on the earlier side of Twitch. Now,
Mhm.
that's when they took over the name Twitch, or was it still Justin TV? Or
Oh, dude,
yeah,
it was
Justin
long
TV.
after Justin. It was
okay,
still Twitch, but the just to put it in perspective is before the affiliate program, like months and months, probably like half a year before the affiliate program. So if you want to try and put a date to it, imagine before the affiliate
oh,
program. I know some newer viewers can't do that. So
So like
I can't do that. Yeah,
27, early 2017,
yeah,
late 2016.
yeah.
wow.
I don't know. It was March 2 years ago. So 2017 was when I was 16.
2017. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So your main game is The Sims, but what is that? What you started off with, or were you more of like a variety
Mhm.
streamer, just played what you liked, and
Uh,
you
um,
grew into The Sims? Tell us about how you got there.
so if you really want to throw it back, I originally played
Please,
League of
please.
Legends on a different
Nice.
account, but that
Okay.
was like a long, long time ago. And then I ended up transferring from League of Legends, where I then deleted that account, so you can't find that. But I ended up transferring from that to Sims after taking a long break. And uh, somewhere in between that, I had a girlfriend, and at the time, I would actually play Sims and stream it to her via Skype. This is a secret story that I don't tell
Wow.
very often because
Wow.
it's not all that interesting. But I guess it's kind of interesting if you're considering streaming. I had this innate passion to talk about video games and play it. And I was playing Sims. And I think at the time I was probably making us in The Sims or something. And I was kind of like role playing to some extent in The Sims. So I think that kind of made me want to bring it to a new audience. We later obviously broke up. And then I was like, I'm going to take a break from all this. And I took a little while off. And then a few years later, I thought, hey, let's try streaming again. And that's kind of why I decided The Sims. I thought I kind of had like an innate passion for it, innate act.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna play something all the time, you might as well have a passion for it. That's for sure.
Yes, yes.
I know the
Yeah.
Sims community is pretty strong.
Mhm.
I don't feel like they are in the news that often or anything like that. It's
No.
almost like a cult following. Is that okay to say? Um,
Yeah, it's probably a
I,
good one to say.
yeah, I don't know that much about it, but
Mhm.
it's kind of like living a virtual life. You have your own
More or less.
characters. They go to work.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. So you came in before the affiliate program.
Mhm.
How did like how was that struggle? I know some people really have a
Mhm.
hard time getting 3 concurrent viewers on average, getting 50 followers.
Yeah.
They don't want to do it cheap. They don't want to do follow for follows. They want to be
Mhm.
authentic,
Of
and make
course.
every follow count. And they
Yeah.
struggle with that. How was it for you, like climbing the ranks and
Um, so one of the big things that I noticed from the very get-go, after doing 100 days of streaming League of Legends every single day, was I had no audience. And I was trying to determine why that was. And as a business major at the time, a full time student, I was like kind of picking up on my little notes and stuff. And I ended up determining that I was in a saturated market, not Twitch as a website, but League of Legends as a game.
oh yeah.
So I figured if there's less products in the market, you have a higher chance for someone to buy your product. So I ended up going into a game like Sims where there was a lot less viewers and no, less viewers, but less streamers. So you get a little bit of both. So I ended up streaming, and very shortly after streaming for a little while, there's only like probably between 3 and 6, maybe even 3 and 10 streamers that regularly did Sims. That was it. Now, if you go, there's like a lot. There's a lot of streamers that do Sims now, like probably 30, maybe 40 regular that play every single week. But at the time, there was only like a few of us. I was actually the only guy. I can vividly remember and name the streamers who I was competing with. They're still around. I wouldn't say competing with. Sims community is cool. Like we're a close-knit community. But I can still name the streamers who stream at the exactly same time as me, because I'd always do research on who else was kind of doing my thing,
Yeah.
and who was kind of also had viewers, and who else had an audience, and who else to talk to.
Of course.
The experience was pretty tough. I ended up streaming every single day for about 365 days. And throughout that process, I ended up learning a lot. But the big thing about starting was just getting your foot in the door and making your own luck, streaming as much as you can. So hopefully you get a raid or a host or something. And I ended up getting a couple of those. That definitely helped me.
All right.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, especially for, going for 365 days, going every day for a year. I mean, you would only one would hope and assume that would get, be as lucky as you, and get a little nudge in the sense of, doing it for a year, that's dedication.
Well, you did it every day for a year. How long were your streams? Would you say they're like 3-4 hours, or were you like 6 to 12 hours every day? That could take its toll on you.
So at the time I was a full-time student, so it was kind of scattered. Certain days I'd only do 2, then other days I'd do 7, and other days I'd do 4. In the end, I ended up checking up on my times after the 365 days, because that was all my time. So I pretty much just took the total time stream from like one of those websites, I don't know which one, and divided it by 365, easiest way to do it. Ended up being just over 3.5 hours average stream.
That's pretty good. That's really good. Wow. So, would you recommend that to somebody now who's, say, going for affiliate or going to, trying to get their name out there, become popular? Would you say stream every day?
I wouldn't say stream every day. I think it was a little stressful, and I'm a very laid back guy. So the stress didn't hit me as much as it might hit some. I'd recommend just making a schedule, more than streaming every day. Just stream like a schedule. The ideal situation is that you get a viewer who likes you enough, or hopefully a lot of viewers that like you enough that they make you part of their schedule. So every Monday they get home, they eat dinner, and then they come turn on your stream and you are there. Or every weekday they come home, eat dinner, hang out with their kids or whatever. Then late at night, they're laying in bed and they put you on. You just want to make sure that you're concurrent, and you are not concurrent. You are consistent. You want to be as consistent as possible. The cool part about my 365 days was every day I got home, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Literally every day, almost for the entire 365 days, I would be live at that time. I'd start off at 5 p.m. If I ended early, it would be at 7. I'd never start off at like noon, then end at 2. Because there would be no point. They'd expect me at 5. So you should be live at that time that you say you're going to start regularly.
Oh, yeah. I feel like if you talk to a lot of, streamers, partners, affiliates, whatever, they definitely say schedule is probably the most important part of your stream.
Yeah, and I think, in fairness too, I think right now should we announce that our schedule is going to be Sundays and Wednesdays.
I think that's a good time to announce it for sure. Every Sunday and Wednesday for now.
Sundays and Wednesdays, 9 p.m. I think is going to be a good around there. Check our Twitter, twitter.com/friends of the net. Shameless plug right there. Hey, while you're at it, twitter.com/Josh_Caron. Underscore? There's 2 underscores there?
I'd recommend branding, guys. So that was not the best decision. I never did Bring the Party on Twitter because I couldn't get it. And branding, get everything the same. Very easy. You see Ninja, everything's Ninja. You literally search Ninja on anything, there he is. You want to make sure you kind of have a unison.
Oh, yeah, I see his posters in Walmart now.
Oh, he's got everything in Walmart now. I'm glad you brought that up, though, Josh, because that is definitely, I feel like it might have been easier to do 2 years ago on Twitch. I've been trying to rebrand for the past, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, and everything I want is either taken, or I need underscores, or I need to like misspell it on purpose or something. And just like, man, what is it is so hard to find your name on Twitch, especially now. There have definitely been some good changes on Twitch, and I hope to see some more. But tell us a little bit about some experiences that you've had. What are like some really big things that have come from streaming? Like anything change your life? Anything that you want to talk about?
So I could talk about a few things with that. It was my part-time job for a while. I did not make enough to say my full-time job. I did say it was my full-time job, but it wasn't paying me a full-time wage. So I got to do that for a while, which was very cool. And I'm gonna take that with me for the rest of my life. I'll tell my kids about it if I have any, or tell my future wife, I used to play video games as a teen, But What changed my life? Probably one of the coolest experience I had was the opportunity to go out to EA on their dime. Yeah, that made it even better.
Yeah,
It was
oh
on
yeah.
someone else's dime, so that was no doubt the coolest thing. They flew me out there. They were like the coolest people. Everyone there was welcoming. I was rubbing elbows with YouTubers and streamers a lot bigger than me. I was the smallest one there. They were all bigger than me, so that was really a flattering experience getting to be with them. And I can recall how cool they were. I remember we were harassing this one of the people at EA. I'm not going to say harassing, that's not the correct term, but we were talking to this one guy at EA, and we kept asking him to do shots with us. And
Nice.
So we kept asking him, and the bar was closing. We kept asking. We were drinking at the hotel bar. There was like 10 of us, and we kept asking. And then right before the bar closes, he gets top shelf whiskey, and like 10 of us do shots. It was awesome. And these are like the memories that you kind of make and you want to get. And that's definitely one of those that I made. And it was cool because you never think you'd ever A, talk to anyone that worked at EA, and then B, get to do shots with someone that worked at EA. My dream still is to do shots with soda popping.
Nice.
Hasn't happened yet.
Nice.
Hopefully it happens.
Yeah, hopefully.
Wow, so they flew you across the country. You got to tour
Mhm.
their facility, hang out with them, take shots with them.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty damn cool. And I don't think the average streamer is, leaving their
Mhm.
living room or their
Yeah,
gaming
I know.
room, let alone, touring a major gaming
Mhm.
facility. That's not open to the public regularly. Like it wasn't
No.
at TwitchCon or,
Mhm.
or one of these gaming conventions. That's super cool. And yeah, kind of jealous in a weird way, um, wow. So yeah, so streaming has brought you a lot of things. Now you're in the social media world now,
Yeah.
alongside of streaming or whatnot.
Mhm.
How much do you say they counteract with each other? I know right before we went
Mhm.
live, we sent a tweet about going live, and any of our updates will be on Twitter. But did it play? Was it as relative, 2 years ago as it is now? I feel like it's extremely
Mhm.
big, meshing all the social media networks and funneling towards your Twitch. Did you do anything like that?
So when it came to my Twitter, I really didn't care about funneling them to my Twitch. I cared about looking important on Twitter. So when
Nice.
I needed to promote something, I looked like, oh, this is important, I care a lot about my statistics, which you probably shouldn't care as much as I do. I try and make sure that all my tweets are prime, and if they do really poorly, I actually do delete tweets. Believe it or not, if they do bad, I'm like, okay, can't have that, because I feel like it's supposed to be representation. It's like an achievement to me.
Okay.
And when I originally started Twitch, I obviously made my Twitter completely. It was actually originally my personal Twitter, and then I made it over for my Twitch stuff, and I made it more geared towards my community. So if they were looking for some funnies or something related to what they consume, as in my audience mainly consumes Sims, you want to make sure that your content is to some extent not directly, not always directed towards them, but can be consumed by them. Meaning, if you don't swear on stream, you don't want to be dropping f bombs in your tweets, and kind of vice versa type of thing.
Mhm.
And I always felt that my Twitter was supposed to be a representation of me as a human, and also my streaming and my streaming audience. When it comes to my actual work, it's a completely different thing. That's not a lot like that. It's very odd, but that's a
Yeah,
story for another day.
it's good.
Well, so
Good
you like to
stuff.
keep things professional, organized,
Mhm.
and at least have good appearance to who you are as a
Mhm.
professional streamer. Do you mind if I call you a professional streamer? I feel like you are the epitome of one.
Mhm.
Uh,
I uh I definitely wouldn't call myself one, but if you'd like to, more power to you. I don't know.
Mhm.
Back and they called me one in the interview. And maybe at the time when I was at my peak, I was averaging like 120. Maybe at that time, maybe I was a professional streamer. I don't know. But right now, I just consider myself a person who streams. I just have fun doing it. I see my audience more as friends than I do as an actual audience. So it's odd to be called a professional when I see it as a fun thing to do with a
Mhm.
little bit
Alright.
of income on the side.
Yeah, as long as you're
Yeah.
having fun, like I stream. JJ has dabbled in the streaming
I
environment.
do it occasionally.
And like I think the having fun part and learning about, the technology, learning about the ins and outs of your streaming channel, things like that. I feel like that's what really keeps me doing it. The
Mhm.
connections you make online. And I feel like every day I'm learning something new with either Streamlabs or the game I'm playing or someone, like I met through there. Like for me, it's been an overall really good experience. And, I'm just an affiliate. I don't even know how long it takes me to get, to my, threshold of being paid by Twitch. But it doesn't matter, like I'm having fun, and that's what's keeping me in it, not the money. And I feel like if I was going after the money, I would have hung up my my jersey already, for sure.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. Nothing was more stressful for me. I like got physically ill trying to get partnership. So
you're gonna have to
highly
tell us
recommend
about
that if you do. Yeah, if you do. So I can talk a little bit about trying to get partnership at the time. So trying to get partnership at the time, it was the numbers weren't correct. None of the stats were right. So I was told by someone at Twitch, because I was like friends, I always was featured on the front page and stuff. So I was talking to people at Twitch, and they pretty much said about around 80 to 100 concurrent was what you needed. And so I'd stream until I saw that my stats said 80. So if that was 1 hour, that was 1 hour. If that was 3 hours, that was 3 hours. And I'd stream until it said 80. And if my numbers went below 80, I cut my stream. And I applied 4 times. Somewhere in there, I got sick multiple times because I was so stressed out about trying to get partnership. Thing is, I'm not even a stressful person. I could take finals like tomorrow. They could be like, yo, dude, you got to take a test tomorrow at work. And I wouldn't even think twice about it, Getting that, though, was the most stressful thing I've ever done. Harder than finals, harder than high school graduation or the college graduation that I'm doing next week. Getting partnership was the all-time hardest thing I've ever had to do and the most stressful thing I've ever had to do. Even getting this new job, my first real job, still not as stressful as getting partnership.
Wow.
That's good though. I mean, it shows your stress level at work is at least not that bad.
Now, do they give you like a Rolex or a hoodie or like something that is like, here's
Rolex
for your achievement? Like, do they give you some like cheesy watch or something like?
So Twitch gave me literally nothing. They gave me a paycheck, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Discord sent me sweatshirts. I have 3 sweatshirts by Discord. 1 shrunk, so I gave it to the lady. And then I just contacted them and they sent me another one. And I think they sent me another one when they released the new partnership stuff. Streamlabs sent me stuff. A lot of companies, Sims has sent me the most. They sent me a Christmas present like a year back, which was amazing. I got posters that were never printed for anyone except influencers. So there's probably less than like 100 out there. I have 2 hoodies from Sims that are probably less than 200 out there.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. But Twitch is literally giving me nothing. If you go to a convention, though, they give you stuff. I got a t-shirt, I think, when I went to a convention, TwitchCon.
Cool.
Maybe a golden Kappa pin somewhere, which is very rare.
Well, I know how like YouTube gives like plaques for your achievements and things.
I wish.
Yeah.
Give me a plaque?
That'd be nice.
Hit them up, man.
We're gonna have to send them a letter. Yeah. Well, geez, time is flying by. Anything else that you'd like to add about your streaming career, some ups and some downs, or maybe like some words of advice? Not like you haven't given us great advice already. Anything you'd like to leave us off with?
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
Jeff, you got any questions? Maybe
questions for you?
Yeah.
I know you.
That's true. That's true. I could do the words of advice if you want some.
Yeah, no, give the community or anybody here listening definitely a couple of words of advice just for people. I mean, even though the struggle is different from when you started out to now because of affiliate and everything. But yeah, I mean, some words of advice.
So like for a new streamer. So if you're going to be a new streamer, 2 things. So you can take it professionally or you can just take it as fun. So if you're going to take it as fun, don't listen to anything I'm about to say because everything should be taken like a grain of salt. Like if you're going to be a C student in high school or college, don't listen to the A students because they're not what you need. You need to listen to C students who tell you kind of how to make it by. If you're going to try and go above and beyond, you got to go all out. So if you want my tips for being like a professional streamer and actually making it and you really want to strap down, because I'm not doing this anymore, but this is how I got partnership. You choose one game, you play it as often as you can. You log as many hours as you can and you make sure you make a schedule. I don't care what that schedule is. It could be 4 days a week. It could be 3 days a week. It could be all week. It could be every day. But you got to stick to that schedule. Pick a game that's not popular. The more popular the game is, the less likely you are to be found. I guess if you do choose a popular game, there's a way around it. You got to communicate with other streamers at your size. I mean, you have to take time out of streaming. So if you stream 30 hours a week, cut that back to 20. No, I cut that back to 25 and then spend 5 hours communicating with streamers that are the same size as you, playing the same game as you.
Networking.
That's your best hope.
Networking. Big.
Yes, yeah. Networking. Always overlooked by every streamer ever. They just think if I keep clocking hours, I'll make it. But you got to make your own luck. The way making your own luck is by streaming as much as you can and then also communicating with people who can help you, as in streamers that are your size and people who can raid you or would consider raiding you. Don't go in that chat and be like, hey, yo, man, like, hey, I'm a streamer going live. You're going to look like a jerk.
Of course.
Go in the chat, make friends, and hopefully one of the two of those people in chat will like you enough to be like, oh, let me check out his channel or whatever. You don't need to even tell them that you stream. They might just slide on in because they see you on their Discord or whatever that you are live. It literally says live on Discord.
Oh, yeah. Discord is huge for that.
Yeah. Yeah, so less popular the game, the more likely you are to be found. Stay away from games that are streamed on console if you have a PC. Games that are streamed on console are oversaturated because everyone can stream from a console. I noticed this change with The Sims. So it used to be you couldn't stream Sims from a console because it wasn't on console. But recently with Sims 4, they just released it on console. And if you go down to like just the bottom of the the streams, I'm not saying they're bad streamers, don't get me wrong. They just are going to be hard to discover. And no way am I saying that if you have few viewers, your stream's crap, because that's not true. You just have few viewers. That's just how it's going to be. But if you just scroll through Sims 4, for example, there used to be maybe 10 of us. If you just scroll to the bottom, I'm looking at maybe 20, 30, 3 viewed to like 0 viewed streamers, which if you have a chance of being clicked out of one of those, it's really low. I'm not saying it's impossible. All obviously right. Not. And if you make it as consistent as possible, you're going to increase your luck of getting viewers in, but it's going to be tougher. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with it being a little tougher. If you love Sims, you're like me, I love Sims. The way I built my community was communicating with streamers and just going at it, you know? And I think that's what you just got to do. You got to really strap in and just take it in. And then last but not least, you want to try and have fun. It's kind of BS, and everyone's going to tell you have fun, and then everyone that wants to become famous is going to be like, having fun doesn't make me famous. But like, at least you're going to enjoy the process of doing it. And if you do fail, you won't say, oh my God, I regret wasting 4 hours every day for the past year of my life. If I never got partnership, I would have still been satisfied.
Right.
I would have been 100% satisfied, actually.
And that's what I would like to see even with this podcast, you know, is like, even if down the line, this doesn't make us blow up, but even then, having these conversations with you next week, I have Jess on the show, you know, just the other, again, we're networking with people. Hopefully we will see that growth that we are, you know, where we network along with people,
that's
people
the
like yourself.
Best thing that I feel like I've taken away from you is have fun. You know, like it is so obvious when a streamer isn't having fun, and the ones that are like magnetic. You want to see what happens next. You want to see what the next joke is. You know, like even like their inside jokes in the stream that you don't get because it's your first time viewing it. They're having a ball, and you you want to be there. You know, and that's what gets me to watch people. The people who are actually having fun, laughing. You know, laughing with their friends. That's addicting, and it's definitely contagious.
I feel, especially as people are coming in, they see Ninja and he's making millions a month, and then they see all these other streamers that are just making crap tons of money, and that's what the news is pushing. Everyone's like, oh, it's a money place to make money, but truly, statistically, I think probably less than 1% of viewers ever make a dime.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help that. And B, if you just go in it with the money set, don't get me wrong, you can make it by going in with the idea that, oh, I'm going to just focus on making money, but if you don't, you're going to regret it. Because you're going to be like, oh, dude, I just wasted all this time. So if you don't make money, you're going to be upset. So just go on and having fun, man. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you want to treat it like a job, you have to treat it like a job, and it won't be fun. Certain days, I don't even want to play video games anymore because I played too many on stream, and I'm like, dude, like, I just don't want to work anymore. Because at one point, streaming just feels like work. Like playing Sims at this point for me feels like work. And I know that sucks because I was a huge fan of Sims growing up, and I still am at times. But then at other times, I just feel like I'm working. And if you treat it like a job, it's going to feel like a job. And very, very few people like to work. Trust me.
Oh, yeah.
So treat it like something you're going to have fun at, and just treat it like a hobby and just have a blast. And hopefully money and all that come along with it. And if you want to make it go a little bit faster, treat it like a job, but it won't be all that enjoyable.
Absolutely.
That's all I got for you.
No, that's awesome.
I think that wraps it up. Too, for the most part. We greatly appreciate it for coming on again the second time. Well, first
Can't
actual
thank you enough for that.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys inviting me. It was a co-host in the future. I'm around. If you guys
let's
like
do
me.
it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean,
well, real quick, Jeff, who are we interviewing next week or this Wednesday for that matter?
This Wednesday, yes. And now we're going live Sundays and Wednesdays for 9 p.m. Roughly. And we're interviewing and going live with Jessadoodle. It's our good friend Jess. You know her as, did the emotes, and she's an artsy person. Did the emotes for Josh and his channel. And yeah, Jess is good people. She's a good friend. I went to school with her. I've kept in contact with her. She's one of my best friends from growing up. I'm going to have her on the show.
That's awesome.
And just talk with her, discuss how things are going on with her life, her Twitch kind of career and life of her being a streamer, and just having a good conversation with her.
Cool emote designer too. Make some killer emotes and does make money doing that. So that'd be something cool to talk about with her. Figure out how she monetizes all that and be something cool to hear about.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun tonight. Hopefully we don't have to do a first episode over a third time. But yeah, guys, all of our content is going to be posted on YouTube. It's going to be posted on SoundCloud and basically wherever else we can host it. So definitely look for us there. Follow all our social media channels, and definitely can't wait to talk to Josh again, but we will have some other people in the meantime.
Yeah. Hit all of the links down in the description below. That's where you'll see links to our Discord, our YouTube, our Twitter. I'll put them in chat as well for anybody who's not following all that stuff. And stay updated with us.
Right. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.